So we got another fairly nice day today. It's in the 80s. Had a massive storm come through last night, just dumped a ton of water on us, a ton of rain. There was at least 3 inches of water in Carolyn's sinks that we used to wash laundry with. I filled it up with clean water, but they were completely empty. There was 3 inches of water in it. It rained so hard. Now, I've told you before that I've got this old antique well, and it really struggles with these flooding rains like that. What happens is groundwater seeps in past the well casing, because the well casing only goes down to bedrock, so water can go down to the bedrock, and then it just, like, you know, goes through the bedrock and sand and all that, and so you get this, I don't know, brownish color from it. It's probably nothing. I just like to have clean, clear water. So in 2 days, I'll flush out the well. It's not that big a deal. You just open up the pump all the way and let it flush out. So I want to change things up a little bit in today's video. I've been doing more and more of these rant videos. They seem to do really well. I've done 2. I did one, the FBI went to I guess it was the ATF, went to this guy's house asking to see his guns, and then the FBI is coming to Missouri to search the databases of our sheriffs for conceal and carry permits. And then I did another one about Californians wanting to run a pipeline from the Mississippi River in Louisiana all the way to California. And those 2 videos have done really well. I have plenty to rant about, so I thought I'd do another one. And it's about meat. Now, as you know, Carolyn and I are carnivores. That's all we eat is meat. Well, I say all we eat. We eat probably 80% of our diet is meat. We eat a large portion of tomatoes, because tomatoes are a good flavor that we use on our meat. And occasionally we'll go get an ice cream. We might have popcorn in the evening. Now, the popcorn is full of carbohydrates, lots of sugar, but we don't eat that much. We've really looked at it, and if you go on what's called a keto diet, we're actually under the keto diet recommendations for carbohydrates. So although we're trying to get completely off carbohydrates, popcorn is just a nice, cheap, easy snack. Now, we have done things like make deviled eggs, or we'll buy cheese and have that for a snack, just so we can stay carnivorous. But as you know, food prices are going up, specifically chicken prices are just going through the roof. I guess beef prices are too. I mean, they're kind of coming down right now, but they go up quite a bit. But chicken prices are just terrible. As you know, last year, we bought a bunch of that 10-pound bags of chicken and thighs, and we canned, I don't know, 200 jars of meat, of chicken, doing it that way. Then we butchered a bunch of chickens, and we filled up we got about 300 days worth of food now doing that. Well, we were going to buy more of that chicken this summer. I think we were thinking about it if we didn't get enough chickens from incubation. Well, anyway, long story. I don't want to get into the reason why we didn't buy any, but I did look at the prices. So I don't know, around March, it was like 49 cents a pound. So a 10-pound bag would be $4.90. Now it's 99 cents a pound. So now it's $9.90 for a 10-pound bag. It's not worth canning anymore. It's just way too expensive. It'd be easier just to incubate a bunch of chickens just as fast as we could, let them grow up and butcher them. And I think that's what we're going to do. We'll probably in October incubate some more. Now, we've decided that the eggs are a really good source of nutrition for us. So a lot of these chickens that we incubated this last time, we're going to keep so we can get more eggs from them. The chickens we have are barely keeping up with us. We eat all the eggs that we produce. And I think this is important because soon enough, we're not going to be able to buy meat in the store. I'm convinced of this. And I was listening to 2 different people today, 2 different videos, talking about how they want to eliminate meat. And I think all of us know that environmentalists want to get rid of beef completely. They want it gone. They feel like the cows are damaging the environment. So back in the 80s, they started feeding us soy. Well, the word got out recently that soy is really bad for men, lowers testosterone. So fewer and fewer people are eating soy burgers. I remember the last time I ate a soy, man, that was probably 15 years ago. And I tasted terrible. It was a soy brat is what it was. And this guy kept trying to tell me how great it was. Oh, it's going to replace meat. It's so good. And I ate it, man. Oh, it was terrible. So I've never eaten it again. But apparently, this company called Beyond Meat or Beyond Beef or whatever it is really struggling to stay afloat because nobody likes their food. Nobody's buying it. So the government is basically sending them money. I guess it was actually Canada, sent them $150 million to continue to produce meat that nobody wants to eat. Now recently I've told you that there are billionaires trying to get us to eat bugs. And we know who that is. It's Klaus Schwab, or whatever the heck his name is, from the World Economic Forum. I mean, he's absolutely certain that we're going to be eating bugs soon. And I think Bill Gates wants us to eat bugs. Then we have these Hollywood stars, Robert Downey Jr. and Angelique Jolie is wanting us to eat bugs. So they're doing everything they can to get us off meat, raising the prices. The government is supplementing them. And then they're trying to get us to eat bugs. I just read an article that the government has invested in total so far in non-meat industry $3.1 billion for supplemental proteins. So the government is actually taking our money and trying to get us to get away from meat and buy Beyond Beef. And well, now they're actually trying to grow meat in a petri dish. I guess they're actually doing it. As a matter of fact, I've heard that you can actually buy your favorite star, movie star, TV star, meat that they've produced that tastes like, that came from that person. I think that is the most disgusting thing in the world. It's man. If you've never seen the movie Soylent Green, it was on Netflix, I think. It reminds me of that movie, that they're trying to get us to eat each other, I think. So the United States government, I know, see, it was hard to try to find all the information where all that $3.1 billion came from and which governments were funding what. So like I said, Canada funded $153 million to Beyond Meat or Beyond Beef. But the U.S. government, I found an article that said they sent $10 million to research growing meat in a petri dish. I'm just not a big fan of this. I'm still thinking that, you know, we want to grow real food. I mean, we were told that soy was going to be the thing that saved us, and all of a sudden it became a terrible thing. They told us that if we stopped eating lard, that our health would get better. So then they started putting us on vegetable oil, and we got sicker. So these scientists keep telling us to do things that keep making us sicker. So now they keep telling us to eat carbohydrates, corn products, popcorn. So everything has corn in it. And that's just sugar. Your body turns it into sugar. And people say, oh, that's important. You need energy. Well, then I'll tell you what, if you really think it's important that you have energy, just eat sugar. I mean, it makes more sense. At least you know you're putting sugar in your body. You're not being lied to, telling you, oh, it's good for you. We have a very high rate of diabetes and obesity in this country. Why? Why all of a sudden the change? Well, because carbohydrates. So now they want to try to trick us into eating this food. Well, what they're really trying to do, I think, is they're trying to convince our kids. Imagine your kid's 8, 10 years old, and at school they're telling them, you want to eat Beyond Beef, and you want to eat lab-grown meat, petri dish meat. These companies are trying to invest into our children, so 10 years from now, the children will buy from them. Not a bad business plan if you really think about it. Well, our 10-year plan is to grow this business by 500%. And it's real simple. We'll just convince the teachers to tell the students to eat fake meat. Again, the meat tastes terrible. Well, now we're seeing things like Sri Lanka, I think it's, don't quote me on how to say it. So, I mean, I know how to spell it, so everybody's going to go down in the comment section and tell me how it's spelled, but it's pronunciation. They're rioting and having all kinds of problems. I think their government has finally collapsed. Now we're hearing like Holland and Ireland and Netherlands are having issues, and I don't remember which country, but I think it's Ireland and Netherlands are requiring their farmers to cut their herd in half. I mean, without any warning, you just get rid of them. And I think it's the Netherlands. They're paying farmers $5,000 per cow to just cull it, get rid of it, kill it, bury it. That way it's not in the system anymore. The shelves will go empty of beef. Well, just recently we heard that Canada, now I know a lot of people seem to think, well, that's over there, that's not going to bother us. But it's over here too, because when we start seeing Canada, then Americans are like, whoa, that's like next door. What's going on? But Canada's basically done the same thing. They told the farmers that they have to cut their nitrogen down by 50%. Well, how do you do that? Well, we can't plant foods anymore, can't plant crops. Well, we can't raise beef because cows eat things grown by nitrogen. Well, now, when is America going to put their foot down and say, okay, we're done? I mean, we are here all the time. I think it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, during the pandemic, I think it was. The government was paying farmers to kill pigs, just get rid of the pigs. We've heard the government is requiring that people kill their chickens because they got bird flu. So anything they can do to hurt the meat industry, it seems like that's the goal. Well, the only way around this, for now, at least in the United States, is become a homesteader. Now, I know people are going to say, well, I live in the city. Well, if you want to eat meat, real meat, you can't live in the city. They're trying to drive us into the city anyways. I mean, again, Klaus Schwab, the leader of the World Economic Forum, wants us to live in these buildings, and I think it's Saudi Arabia is building one. They're actually building one. It's like a 20-mile, 30-mile kilometer, whatever it is, structure. And it's going to be just one big city. Everybody's going to live in the structure. It's going to be so many feet high and so many miles. And so that's where everybody's going to live. So they're going to pack us all into the cities or into these structures, and they're going to feed us grown meat. They're not going to allow us to raise cows. So if you live in a city, the solution is get out of the city, because that's where they want you anyways. We have to fight. If you want to eat meat and you want to be free, you got to find the freedom. And I keep saying, get yourself a piece of property. Sell everything you got right now, because we're going into a recession. Don't wait until it's too late where you don't have any money. Do it now. Sell everything you got. Go find yourself a little piece of property for $4,200. Get yourself a little tiny house, and then raise your own food. So if you'll click that super thanks button, I'd really appreciate it. So if I can inspire you to do it now so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.